And welcome back to Games Revealed. This is James, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about the things I don't like or the cons that are coming up about the Steam Deck. Now, that being said, we don't have anything in our hands yet. We do have some YouTubers and individuals that are able to use the Steam Deck at this point. There's some embargoes still in place on whether or not they can talk about, like, I believe the software and some other pieces a little bit more. But we do know some solid things right now, and we'll have to revisit this in another. Once I get my copy, I guess we're gonna have to revisit it. Which my copy or my device, and I'm Q2. I think I'm earlier though than some others, but like I'm still Q2 like most people. So hopefully some of you guys bump off the list from Q1 and can bump me back up into there. That'd be awesome. I was slated a little earlier than the whole delay. I feel like pushed me into Q2. Okay, so there's nothing more exciting than talking about something you're super excited about in a shitty way, and that's what we're going to do today. So first up, battery life. This is a mixed one. So they claim 2 to 8 hours, and I believe them, kind of. I mean, it's 8 hours if you have it set to 0% brightness, so the screen's not on, and as long as you're running it at 10 frames per second. I believe that. I trust that it can probably hit 8 hours. So if you want to listen to the game, perfect. So for those people that love listening to games, you're going to get great amount of battery life. For the rest of us, I think we're going to hit that 2 mark a lot more than anything else. And that's just how it is with the Switch too. Switch touts, whatever the word is, that they get great battery life, but I get about 2 hours. So, and this is a drastically bigger device, so it's very impressive that they're able to get 2 hours anyways. But I'm expecting for retro, and to put, let's get a little bit numbers in here with what people have said. So like if you like 2D indie games, the Forbes was talking about how they were able to get 6.2 hours out of a gaming session with Dead Cell. That being said, another YouTuber was able to tweak things enough to get 8.3 hours. That was, I assume, downscaling the CPU and just a bunch of other things, right? So they reduced the CPU's performance, like, reducing this megahertz down or gigahertz, and just tweaking the system in such a way that it would play that game perfectly. And to be honest, I don't know the answer to this yet, if Steam or Valve is tweaking it like that. So each game will have custom settings that the Steam Deck can then tweak down to get better battery life. I believe they're working on something like that, but I don't have anything verified, at least that I've seen yet. But I will recommend, so if you want to get the best, like, I'm going to be playing at home a lot, and I'll probably have it plugged in half the time. That's fine. Or I'll be able to, I play in 2 hour increments anyway, so the battery life doesn't bother me that much. I just know it bothers some, and if I'm on the go, and I definitely plan on being on the go more this year, that's where it's going to be very detrimental. Luckily, we have ways to do that with battery to fix that with battery packs. So I have a couple battery packs. It sucks to have to plug in a battery pack on something that's portable. It makes it less portable. But my recommendation is to get a battery pack first and foremost. Even if it's just one that will boost the battery life by 1 or 2 hours, I think if you need that portability. If you plan on playing it at home, I don't think it matters too much. But if you need that portability, that's what I recommend. Now, if you want longer sessions, even at home, you're just going to have to adjust the brightness. You're going to have to not play at 60 frames per second. That's going to be the one that kills. And now not every game's going to be able to be played at 60 frames on the Steam Deck just because performance. It's still very performant machine, but it's also, you got to remember, it's a handheld device, and 60 frames is a lot to handle, especially when in such a small form factor. So, but if you plan on playing at 60, that is going to reduce your battery life. So play at 24, 30. I'm fine with that with story games, and so it's not going to bother me too much. But that's what I'd recommend if you want to, enjoy longer battery life. And also we'll see what tweaks we can do to the performance of the device, and also maybe reducing the performance or some of the specs of the game down to potato level, I guess, is the best way to put it. I definitely don't want potato level. And that's one of the things. I'm usually a huge graphics person. I love max graphics. I have a 3090. I love it. But for portability and playing in bed and on the go, I am so ready for this. As long as it doesn't look like Witcher 3 on the Switch, because that looks like a potato. And it's just because I played it at such a beautiful level. It's so hard to go to a potato level where everything literally does look like a potato, because some things I can't tell if they are or not. It's almost not even a joke anymore. It's kind of just a sad truth. The form factor. I think the form factor is, it looks like the Game Gear, which I played a lot as a kid, so I should be used to it. I'm a little worried about it though. It's really chunky. I'm so used to the Switch lately and how easy it is, but I do have to say, like, I bought bigger controllers to attach to it, and it fits my hand much better. The Switch just doesn't fit my hand very well. I have meaty fingers, but I will say, if that's the case, maybe I am going to be super excited for the Steam Deck. So for that form factor, it's just going to be heavier, and I can't hold it above my head as easily without, getting a huge long arm workout. Okay, next up are the games. This is a huge plus. That's what makes it kind of funny that it's on this list. The games, I think, are going to be awesome. We're going to have a huge launch. I really think we're not going to have too many problems. There are a couple of games that we've heard have some, I would say, major issues just with ghosting or whatnot with the controllers that could be fixed in software. And with how big the launch is, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of modders and it is open source software from my understanding. So that's another beautiful thing. Other closed games like Cyberpunk 2077, their issues, if they would have opened up that software to be an open, modders fixed a lot of their issues within the first few months. Don't know why they didn't hire them. That's a whole other story that I've mentioned in other podcasts before. Very bizarre, really weird. CD Projekt Red's weird company with that. On the flip side, Valve is very, very good at including their public, the public and their users, players in their ecosystem. So I think it's going to turn out really well. But my concern is ultimately, our new game is going to get that same treatment. If a new game comes out, how long can we expect it to work on the Steam Deck? And is it ever going to? If I buy a game, reserve a game on Steam, am I going to be able to play it day one? And I guess it's going to be determined on how popular Steam Deck is in the launch. And I think that's a null issue at this point. I think it's so massive of a upset in the portable gaming world that is, especially, and bridging between PC and console. This is kind of the bridge that we've all wanted, at least us portable people. And there's a couple. It's just probably a smaller niche than I realize, but where is the support going to come? And I think it will. We don't know. We don't know until it comes out and we really see it shown by these companies. Switch doesn't really have to deal with this that much. The Switch is able to have one release and done. It works. They have a much smaller game base though, so doesn't matter. This is the last thing I want to mention though. Valve loves to cancel their projects. They love to cancel games, hardware, whatever they're working on. They can't hold on to an idea or a roadmap for too long before they kind of abandon it. And I kind of get that. I kind of get it. If things don't seem like they're going well, why stick with it and waste money or your time and energy? Valve's a very innovative company, and they want to do a lot of good. I'm assuming that, obviously they want to do a lot of good, a lot of different in the world. All the Half-Lives say it. Half-Life Alyx, especially with the VR system, it definitely says that. Like, they wanted to make the best VR game, and they did that. That being said, we'll see if we'll ever see another Half-Life game. They say they're working on it. They've worked on multiple Half-Lives, including Half-Life 3, and dropped them. Half-Life Alyx is a conglomerate of multiple past projects that have been canceled. But That being said, they did come up with Half-Life Alyx. They're coming out with the Steam Deck, which, if you don't remember, Steam Machine, that console-like system that's supposed to be cheap enough to compete with consoles, and it didn't really do a good job because if you got it, even the cheapest version, that would be on par technically with like a PlayStation 3 at the time, still didn't perform nearly as well as a PlayStation 3, and it still cost $100 more. It didn't work out. They tried, and it was a good attempt. Don't get me wrong. I really like that attempt. I was never going to buy one. I was always curious to buy one for my living room, but I always had a laptop that could at least do some PC gaming, and a PC that does great gaming. That being said, I think that was a good kickoff for what they have now. I don't think we'd have the Steam Deck without the Steam Machine, and partially because the Steam OS is what the Steam Deck uses, and I believe that's what was used in the original Steam Machine, which is a Linux flavor. We're gonna see. We're gonna see in the end how well Steam Deck does. I think at this point there's so much hype behind it, and it is so different because Steam Machine, I get it. I think even there was some skepticism when it first came out, or even before it came out. With Steam Deck, there's still some skepticism. I see it. I'm bringing some of the skepticism, I guess. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. This is not really anything to write home about, in my opinion, in the sense of like canceling your pre-order. Now, if you want to cancel your pre-order to help bump my pre-order up, go for it. But really, if you can afford it, get it. Even if you get it before me, awesome. Just know that the downsides do exist. So if you expect this to be a thin, super portable gaming device that's going to be able to give you 8+ hours of gaming on the go, you're going to be disappointed. So I guess it all depends on what your expectations are. And I think most people's expectations are curbed. And I think Valve's done a good job with keeping our expectations at a decent level. But we're going to find out in a couple of days when the Steam Deck releases, and we'll have to revisit this topic to see why the Steam Deck really does suck. But not really. But just to see the cons, right? So in the end, these are the 5 things: battery, form factor, rumble feature, games, and the canceling of projects, because that's a major problem. That being said, is there anything you're worried about with the Steam Deck? Is there something that you think it's just going to do well? And what are you worried about that probably will fail, or could fail, or however I want to phrase it, because I'm not phrasing it right? Let us know in the comments below. Remember to hit that subscribe button, the bell, like if you liked it, dislike if you don't. But if you dislike it, please let us know why, so I can improve this video and the videos in the future. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Later!